So, anyone want to say any questions, please? This is the time, and Stephen can answer them.
Question. You say you're meditating in MRT. How did you meditating in MRT?
Well, it's not just me. I believe we all can do that. We all can meditate. How do we do that? We don't do it. Because meditation is all that what you don't do. In Chinese, we have this expression. Do you know this? Fang Kong? Fang Kong? Do you know that?
Fang Kong. You say.
Do you know that?
You say keep our brain blank.
Yeah.
That's oh.
Yeah, it's just keeping it. It's funny, they have an expression for that in Chinese. There's no expression in English or German or whatever. It's just not thinking.
But I don't see why you can't do this on the MRT, but you can do a certain variation of counting from 1 to 10 on the MRT. You could do like a japa meditation as well, which is repeating like a mantra or a word phrase like Om Mani Padme Hum is a common one. So many things you can do.
But will you forget how to get off the MRT?
Maybe. That's the problem. You shouldn't do it when you're driving.
You know, that's not meditation. That's dreaming, right? That's going on some kind of mind trip. But you know, the core of meditation is being with who you are. And that is so simple, actually. It is accessible at all times, whatever you do. Whatever you do. You can go swimming, or you can have an argument with a person, but that space in yourself, who you really are, that cannot leave you. But it is just our habit to function in a certain way that we run away from that, right? It's the way we focus in life. We think about something, and then that's one way. That's how I function anyways. I've recognized I think about something, then I hook into that, and then the whole world, the whole universe, that's what it is, right? The center of the universe is a single thought and a single emotion that thought creates. So, yeah, that's just the way in which many people function, I believe. And that is not meditation. Meditation is simply just being with yourself and actually being able to see through that for a moment. I don't know if that answers your question.
But I feel confused because in MRT everybody was talking very loud and discussing very loud. How can you just keep your brain blank?
Exactly.
Next question first.
Wait, just quickly. This is amazing because this is really important, I believe. That especially when in loud places, I think these are actually great places to practice meditation. It's very difficult, and you maybe don't want to start there, but at some point, you can practice. You go to a bar or to a disco where it's really loud, and in that you focus on that, or you listen to that, which is absolutely still. Just with yourself. And is that really loud in the MRT when everybody's talking?
Lynn, do you have a question?
Yeah. I want to know, you were saying that garlic makes a really big difference. And when you started eating garlic, you noticed a difference.
Yeah.
I would like to know exactly how garlic is interfering. And if nobody knows, why hasn't there been some sort of investigation into how garlic is messing up meditation? Because if there's an investigation to find out how, then maybe you can find out a way to counteract that so you can still eat garlic and not have this interference.
This is a great question, and I asked myself this question as well in the last few days because, I wanted to mention this here, so I went on the internet and I started looking for all kinds of information about garlic. Why is garlic no good for meditation? And the thing is with the internet, whatever you look for, you can find it, right? You think, oh, that guy is not, I don't like that guy. So you go on the internet, you can find it. I don't like garlic, something wrong with that. You go on the internet, what's wrong about garlic? And I'm sure somebody wrote why garlic's bad. And yeah, somebody did. There's some kind of doctor that said, these are these chemicals, they're not good for your brain, But, you can also find loads of information on the internet how garlic is great. How garlic's really healthy, that it can help if you have cancer, how it can purify your body and all of that stuff. So, I can't give you a certain kind of information, a certain source and say, hey, this scientific study or whatever, this proves that garlic is wrong. All I want to pass on here is just an invitation. If you're interested in checking this out, what effect does garlic have on your system? It's just an invitation, and you have.
I was going to contribute, but I see where you're going. Try not eating it.
You have these experiences as well?
I've been meditating with myself for 7 years or so, and I'm the tradition of meditation that I'm in also quite strongly opposed to garlic, although many people do it anyway because they like garlic. And so for my first couple of years, I was like, oh, that's just superstition. Garlic's good for you, I'm going to do it. And then it wasn't until I was on retreat for a very long time and was forced not to eat garlic that when you come back here, you notice several things. First of all, everyone smells of garlic. They're permeated with it, and they don't even realize it because they can't smell it on themselves. Second of all, garlic is used. There's nothing intrinsically wrong with garlic. Garlic is a medicinal herb that's used in the traditional medicines of all cultures. But the way it's used in modern food is sort of much like added salt, right? It's just used as sort of a shorthand for big flavor. So everyone knows that they get a response from customers by putting a lot of garlic in food. And so it's just like this arms race for more and more and more garlic. So people really don't realize how much garlic they're eating. The final thing I was going to say, not actually the final thing. In Chinese medicine, garlic is a strongly yin in Greek, right? And not all, but most meditative practices are somewhat yang in nature. Like he was talking about the importance of keeping the spine erect, enabling the energy to circulate up it. Yin ingredients interfere with that process, and they cause people to become entrapped in their body. So basically it interferes with your sensory perception of the outside world, not just your olfactory, but you become sort of immersed in a sensory cloud that you can't see what's going on around you. And if you doubt it, I would encourage you to just experiment.
Exactly. Don't believe me and don't believe him.
Yeah,
we're just two guys, and this is the invitation. You have, these things you have to check out yourself, and you'll get the answers.
That's not the problem. I don't doubt it.
Right.
In witchcraft, garlic is considered an anti-magic. I have no problem believing that is the problem. I just wanted to know why. Exactly on a certain level, why is this not investigated further? Why is it doing this? And why aren't there measures taken to see what can counteract it?
Well, in terms
besides cold turkey giving it up.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, it's a big one in the Indian culture, like Hinduism and Jainism, they say that completely cuts off the connection, your connection, our connection to the gods.
Exactly. I know I understand yin, but I guess I don't understand enough about
It's
yin.
not only garlic. It's mentioned garlic, but if you go for traditional Buddhist practice, they will tell you that there are 5 traditional herbs you shouldn't eat. And here you can mention 2, because basically, especially like in China, the Chinese culture settled. Because other 3, you can find it here, they are only present in India. So except garlic, you also have onion. And there are 2 basic reasons for monks to not eat, because this is their perception for monks. They shouldn't garlic. One you already mentioned, it's just the smell. Simply speaking, that smell can distract others. And for Buddhists, I don't know if they believe or it's real, but it's kind of aphrodisiac. Just this is stimulated, sexually stimulates you. Just make your blood circulating faster and it's making you more possibly distracted with this kind of stuff. That's why it's withdrawn from the Buddhist diet. So if you eat so-called food in Taiwan, they will just always have to do eating full vegetarian food, which means it's with garlic, with onion. So it's not only garlic, it's also onion and 3 more herbs which are not present in China and Taiwan. You won't find them. They're not enumerated. So basically there are 2 reasons for that. For Buddhists, because like you're talking about meditation in general. So other traditions they have other view on that, but like for Buddhists there are 2 main reasons for that. Especially for monks and nuns, just like for ordained person, something different for unordained person.
We've got about 5 minutes left, so anyone else? Questions?
I have one I wanted to ask. So you talked about it's a really good thing that you brought up about this falsified ego that can result of meditative practices. And I'm led to think of my own experience when I first started meditating, practicing Zen. You have the interview with the master, and they ask you basically, why are you doing this? And I don't recall what my answer was at the time, but it's interesting going back. I've had subsequent conversations about that with my teacher. He says, pretty much when everyone comes in, they all have these different answers that they give. None of them are good answers, none of them are right answers, none of them are the real reason that those people are pursuing meditation, and it inevitably changes over time, right? So, my question is, do you think that someone can come to a meditative practice without some of that falsified sense of ego? I want to practice meditation to have better concentration, to have better relationships with people, to be wealthier or whatever. I mean, is it possible for someone to begin on that path without some aspect of that? Or is it something you kind of have to have and drop? Do you understand?
Right, I understand the question. I don't think so. It's just like I said before, with the lady that sells fruits. It's something very natural, actually, where we are. And this is basically the whole meaning of meditation why do we meditate? Basically, is to find yourself, which is a paradox in itself, because that what we are, we actually can't find, because it's what we are. Right? That what you are, you can't find. So my point is that lady doesn't even go on all of these rides about, wanting to be better, and, that she wants to be more of this and more of that, and, all of that. These are all the traps of spirituality, and myself, I've been interested in this stuff for 15 years, man, and, I've been, to satsang talks, and I hear there's so much stuff on the internet. You hear people, the stuff they think, and it's really, dude, we are just trapping our minds. We're just trapping ourselves, It's just this old pattern of I am here and I'm missing something in life. Something's got to be better. So I need to be more of that, and I need to be more of that, and it's all backwards. Because you don't need to be more of anything, because actually you're all perfect, as we are. It's just what we do to, our habits actually bring us away from that.
But my point is, if someone really felt the sense that they are natural and they are used to it themselves, etc., they would not gravitate towards meditation. They would see no need for it. The reason we have meditation, the reason people are interested in it, is because people feel this sense of lack and this sense of want, and they want to do something about it.
Yeah.
Can I say something? I think the point is about the ego. Like it's okay to want these things as a reason to start something. I'm even thinking about that myself. When something's happened in my life when I thought I've really got to meditate. And I think it's fine to have these reasons why you want to meditate. It's fine to have a spiritual master, but at the end of the day, it's about ego. It's about letting your ego, yourself, go, and you've got to let go eventually if you've got a spiritual teacher, that him as well or her as well. So it's that sort of paradox. You need to be attached, but ultimately you have to let go of it.
Can I have a question?
Yeah.
Since you finished your speech with Zen meditation, so I want to use Zen in this point here about the way of meditating. You said like the place should be quiet and all this and no disturbances and all these things. And but how do you explain then that in Zen Buddhism we find many stories like people meditating, for example, during winter on snow, which cold is a very big disturbance, and they were apparently doing that, right? And also there is another story like the master and the students, they were meditating, and one of the students were always distracted by the frogs outside. How to say, whistling, how do you say this? Okay. And then the master said, what's wrong with you? He said, because the frogs is distracting me.
Yeah.
And then the master said, okay, I will arrange tomorrow for them not to frog, so you can meditate.
Right. Hey, this reminds me of this thing, Adyashanti. I've been listening to Adyashanti these days, and he was really into Zen meditation. And just to turn it around a bit, he said when he these people that really try to meditate, they, go and sit in a really quiet room, and they have their really special incense with their really special pillows and their really special technique from this really special master, and now they're going to get to this really special place, and they start meditating. And after 5 minutes, someone knocks on the door. Hey, the phone's ringing. You're like, hey, leave me alone. I'm meditating here. And that shows everything. That's not meditation. It's all a trip in your mind. Yeah, it's a dream world, man. It's a dream world. This is a natural thing. And about the whole snow thing and being able to practice, when it becomes louder, I think, I just think it's good to start like this, You just go back to a place, and it's easier to calm your mind in the beginning in places where you have no distraction.
So as a beginner, don't try it on snow.
Yeah. I mean, you should never try, but, it's harder, right? Yeah, just get into it. Get a feel.
Time's up.
Well, we can try to push a little bit further. Does anyone have any further questions?
I sort of had an observation from something of a similar experience, because it seems like what you're talking about is kind of like a subjective, objective dualism there. I mean, you're actually, in a way, trying to learn to be more objective. And when I say objective, I don't mean objectifying, but actually to be, opening yourself up to real awareness. And I've had an experience of this recently studying kind of kung fu called Wing Chun, and we do a practice similar to pushing hands in Tai Chi, although I think it's a little bit different, but yeah, Chi Sao. And it's been a really interesting experience for me because it's kind of made me realize that how we get older and we get all these stimulus from we get, like for example, Facebook, you get the dopamine addiction from from feedback, right? And it's developing it's putting it kind of more in your head, I think. Mm-hmm. And you start to build this sort of construct in your head that gets stronger and stronger and stronger.
Oh, yeah.
But then like in Chi Sao, it's really interesting because like my teacher, it's incredibly annoying. But when we actually interact, he's sort of probing at you, and you start to interpret what he's going to do. Or you start to say, oh, he's doing this, and then you want to do a move. And then as soon as you start to do a move, he said, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Can you not do that? Can you just let just be objective and pay attention to what I'm doing, and not start to try to impose whatever you think you want to do onto what's happening. Do you think is it something similar to what you're trying to achieve there when you talk about kind of Fang Kong and
I know if I try to achieve that, all I'm doing is not achieving it. It's really like you say. It's just all these habits, And, I mean, kids. I think kids are a lot closer to that. Because they don't have all these ideas in their heads, and they connect to them. They connect with these ideas in a different way. Yeah, and it's just how we are with those ideas. There's nothing wrong about thinking, but yeah, it's really, I really believe by now that this is something, the pure state of meditation, if you so want, is something that a person can't really achieve by doing. So it's just really against anything we're used to. We're doing something all of the time, and that's okay. We're all human beings, right?
We should be called human doings.
Walking heads.
All right. I think we're out of time. I've got about 5 questions, but I'm going to have to ask you those later. So thank you, Stephan.